Hey guys, welcome back to American Adventure. So this is going to be the first episode of the construction of Harbors of America. Even though this episode will be called episode 17, because I want to keep it in the same pile of American Adventure videos. So this is just going to be I can say part 1 of Harbors of America, but it's episode 17. So this whole park I'm going to say it's the struggle to get my footing, especially on how water parks are designed. So I've done my research on a whole bunch of water parks and things of that nature. And water parks have this weird layout. They're very open, they're very flat. Slides are either up on top of mountains or on top of some type of structure. So that will happen later as I get into the build. But I wanted to get this first done, was the entrance area, the main gate, and some of the utilities of the park, or the places of what guests need. So like changing rooms, restrooms, info, first aid, gift shops, things like that, and a ticket booth. And I needed to figure out what my look and my theme for the park. So the theme for the whole park is called Harbors of America, so it's going to be themed around harbors of different places. But at this moment I only have 2 themes, or 2 themed areas. So New Orleans is basically the front area and for the kiddie pool, and then I have an idea to do San Francisco. I could cram in some other harbors, like maybe Maryland up north, so like Maryland, Maryland, or Boston. But again, I've already done Boston Harbor in the main area of the park. So I'm going to try to pick themes that are not represented in American Adventure. So this is basically another place to showcase other areas in America. So San Francisco, New Orleans, I think are also good places to start. And I want to make sure that they sit in a, I don't know, say you want to say it's old times, so like San Francisco in maybe the 50s, and then New Orleans maybe in the 30s, 40s at the most. Maybe it depends, but they're both old style cities in general. So San Francisco having the Fisherman's Wharf and Chinatown and the Victorian lady houses, whatever they're called. I think that's what they're called. Versus New Orleans, more colonial type of buildings with a French market, which I'm going to try to replicate in some key areas, but not necessarily replicate it to a T. It's kind of just a representation of French market, or the styles of these buildings with the iron wrought fences and the pillars and the different types of, I don't know, houses, apartments, you want to call them, brick buildings. So the entrance is kind of just doing the same beat as American Adventure's entrance, but a little bit different at an angle. I wanted to make it at a 45 degree to have a way to, you can see it from the entrance of American Adventure. So it's kind of inviting. You kind of just walk around. There's going to be somewhat of a another drop-off area too in this area as well, because honestly, I think my resort probably needs a tram system, which I haven't implemented, which would be actually really hard, because the parking lot, most of the parking lot is going to be off screen or off the map, so it's super far away. So there's really no way you can tell it's even in the park. On purpose, because I feel like having a map just full for parking is kind of silly. So I choose not to do that. But right now, this is going to be the first building off to the right-hand side of the park entrance. This is, I think, information, first aid, maybe an additional shop, but it's just a very typical colonial type of building. I am pulling a lot of inspiration from Six Flags New Orleans. So I watched a documentary on that. It was called Closed for a Storm from Bright Sun Films. That was a good documentary. I encourage you all to go and rent it and watch it. It's really good, and how that park collapsed because of Katrina. Yeah, it's Katrina, the hurricane. So, but that park has some really cool, like their entrance area is really nice with their New Orleans type of theme. So I'm pulling from that a lot. So I found a whole bunch of pictures, trying to copy some of the buildings and styles with their gingerbreading and the window types and the roofing. So that's kind of what this building's representing. So it's kind of a mix of those things. So I'm just going to use here, like, shapes are very important, borders are important for these type of builds, and then making roofs either overhang or not, it depends. And just kind of figuring out how to make it look completely, it's not complete, it's supposed to be like a more representing that structure, right? So just doing my normal thing with adding detailing on the roofs with 45-degree cubes. Windows are always my thing to do. But I want to make the entrance area kind of very small because, again, I don't have a lot of space where I dedicated this park. Again, this water park was kind of a second. It was like kind of a last second thing to add to the map. Because honestly, I could have been done and just made it a freaking parking lot and been done with it. But I feel like I wanted more opportunity to work on more theming stuff of America. So the water park seemed appropriate to kind of do so. And again, this park is based in California, so a water park is quite appropriate, especially with our weather, so kind of was fitting. And I wanted to get my hands on trying to theme a water park away from your typical California's themed water park or beachy themed. Like, honestly, every water park that I've researched into is either tiki themed or beachy themed, and it's just like there's nothing interesting. So I'm gonna try my hand at this. This park might not be as, I'm hoping this park will be as good as American Adventure right next to it, so I'm gonna hope that it works out. Again, I have to make a whole bunch of water slides. I have to build some tracked rides. So the lineup of rides that I want to try to do would be, so the splash battle is going to be our lazy river. So that's going to be actual transport of the entire park. So you step into it, it goes around the park, and this drops you off on the far end of it where there will be more water slides and pools. It'll come back to the entrance. So the idea is to use that as a transport. And while you're going on it, you can spray guests. I think that's funny because why not? It's a water park. People should be getting wet regardless. So that's one idea. I want to use the water coaster to kind of add some more movement in the park. I want to use, I don't know if I'm going to use the bobsled coaster for anything. Maybe as a slide or something, but I don't know if that's going to work. I am using the AstroTron mod to do the slides and stuff, but that's very important regardless. I need to do that. What other rides I want to do for this park? I need to do more water stuff, so I need to look at the water rides that we have and kind of try to make more rides back here. I even will maybe throw in a flat ride. I might throw in one flat ride that has like water effects on it or something. That actually might be a good idea. Kind of like a hybrid version or a hybrid of like an actual water parks, but I don't know. This is an ongoing evolution of this park, especially how weird water parks are laid out usually. They're usually like giant circles. There's no hub. Usually in the center would be the wave pool or some other group of slides. Because I'm assuming I have to build like, I want to say 10 different slides in different bunchings. And then go from there. So right now, this episode's going to be more focused on the main entrance area, getting my anchor in. Yeah, throw my anchor out, and hopefully the anchor sits, and then I get a wave of like inspiration from my own builds. Because sometimes when you start with a park, always when you start with a blank park, it's always daunting to even start. Where do I start? Where do I go from there? And it's really hard. It's really hard to think in the future and be like, oh, but in the future I want to build this thing here, but I want to build this for. It's so hard to like focus on one thing. So I just focused on the entrance, and then next is I'm just focusing on the main structures around it, kind of like a miniature main street. This is what it is. I'm making a main street. I'm planning on doing custom signage for most of the buildings in front, maybe like some type of water park puns maybe to kind of help out, or New Orleans puns that will help too, but we'll see. It again, this is an ongoing project. Right now, I'm pretty happy with the final result of this area, but I have the opportunity to go back and redo it if I have to. So there's no really like, oh, it's locked in place, it will never change again. Nope, you can change it, and you should be able to. So that's kind of the objective here too. So yeah, this is just kind of how I'm thinking how this water park's going to turn out. I have some high. I'm hoping not high. I'm just maybe I am high. Oof. Never mind. Sidetrack. Just I hope this works. To be honest, 'cause I'm having real hard time figuring out what a water park should be. And there's only been a couple water parks done in the Parkitect community. So Coaster Beam did one. I watched that one, and his park is pretty nice. It's just the one thing I hate about it. It's no fault on him. It's fault on the game. That there's no dynamic movement. There's nothing really happening because guests can't swim. So my objective is to use rides and try to add some dynamic movement. I might do it. Use the Inviso mod from Zamu, but I'm afraid that's gonna break this map and how far I'm already in it. So I don't want to risk adding another mod in place, so I'm probably not going to do it. It's a risk I really don't want to take. I don't want to lose a map that I've been working on for 2+ years at this point. So water slides are going to be pretty lifeless, but if I can add in a water coaster or a other type of water ride in the area, a flat ride, I can add some movement and it won't look as dead, and there's a reason for the guests to walk around. So I'm going to try that the best I can with those options. I think I'm going to use the Calm River ride for maybe a dark ride or something, maybe if I wanted to build a dark ride. The water coaster could be like a, I don't know, a themed to, oh my god, themed to Alcatraz or themed to Chinatown. Kind of like Atlantis from SeaWorld. So I can try that with the water coaster. Who knows? Again, I don't have a plan. I usually don't have a plan when I work on the Parkitect thing, but I have some type of inkling ideas of my roadmap. So I want San Francisco and New Orleans as my areas. I might even throw in Maryland. I really want to do like Cape Cod, but again, that's not America. That's, or is it America? So there's an area in Tokyo Disney Sea called Cape Cod. That is very American, right? I'm assuming. I need to look at Tokyo Disney Sea again, because they have American waterfront, which is actually really a nice themed area that represents America pretty well. And I need to maybe pull from that more. But yeah, if I do like Maryland or Jaws themed, because Jaws I think is based in Maryland too. I think. I'm not sure, but it's more of those cottage-looking buildings and. Yeah, I want to maybe have that as well on top of that. So more actual typical harbor stuff. Lighthouse, fisherman, wharf, warehouses, fishing boats. I want to do that too. So it's kind of a mix of different things. So we'll figure it out. Cause yeah, I'll figure it out. It's I shouldn't really like stress myself out about it. Again, it is just a water park, so it will start building itself, because usually that's what happens when you're building a project of this scale. And I'm either thinking too hard, or yeah, I'm probably thinking too hard, honestly. So just need to not think too hard. Just keep it straight, keep going, and build things. Because I think the next area that I want to work on after this is all finished, or after this front area is finished, I want to work on the kiddie pool. And the kiddie pool is going to have some type of sea serpent dragon thing for like Mardi Gras. So that will happen. But I also have to figure out my logistics between walking areas and the splash boat ride, which I'll explain in a little bit when I actually do build it in this footage, you'll see me work on the layout. The layout is subject to change, but I'm also having issues with clearance, because I didn't realize that the splash boat ride is, oh my gosh, it has a very big hitbox, so beware of that. I will have to figure something out. So right now with one purple building here, which is very New Orleans-like with the balconies, I use the catwalks fences to do the curved fencing. That actually worked out because it's already a mod in place. So I might as well use support mod and catwalk mod to help with some of my theming of areas. So that helps. So I'm going to use that more often, or try to. So the first area is kind of finished. There needs to be more like festival. I want to maybe add confetti on the floor, suggesting that Mardi Gras just happened or something, or Mardi Gras is happening. So I'll figure something out. So you can see here on the floor there's that black line. That's the layout of the lazy river, which is not really lazy river. It's going to be a transport boat ride basically with the splash boats. I kind of roughly drew out what I want and how the shape should be, and then went from there. So right now I just want to make sure that this area is open so that guests have a way to flow and see what they can choose from a glance. Even though there's information nearby, you can go find it by a map, but at glance you should see, oh, what should I go on and what your centerpiece. Again, I don't have a centerpiece for this park. I'm thinking about making some type of, I don't want to make a volcano because again that seems silly. It doesn't really fit with the two city themes I picked, was San Francisco and New Orleans, but I want to make something that's kind of like Typhoon Lagoon with a boat on it or something, maybe a wrecked ship. I don't know yet. I just haven't gotten that far, but at least I've got the stepping stones of the water park built, so all the utility stuff and deliveries already being done, and restaurants to go and eat, because you need all that stuff for a water park or a theme park in general. So this is all ready to go. Oh, that first aid needs to move. Yeah, I need to move that. I just realized that it's in a horrible spot. So, oh yeah, the other cool thing I've been using as reference is Legoland. So cool. So, Legoland has Miniland, and here in California we have Miniland that's based off of New Orleans. So I'm very fortunate enough that I live about an hour or 2 hours away from Legoland, so I can go out and get pictures. But I googled them because I'm just easier to do so. But they have a Legoland, a Miniland based off of New Orleans. So I just looked up a whole bunch of pictures of the park or that land, and I'm gonna pull inspiration from those things. This is really cool. The windows or these doors here, you can make them like shutters and have them open all the time by the effect controller. It's actually a really nice thing to do because they just have them open, and the effect controller doesn't have to go. Doesn't have to do anything. Well, it's just a test. I might use it in another build, making windows, but it's a cool little thing to use. So, finding little things accidentally, which is the fun part of doing anything that's Parkitect related. Just experimenting as you go and build. But as I was saying, so Legoland is a really good reference point because everything's, they built cities. So might as well use them to your advantage, and they're all square based, kind of like Parkitect, which is kind of like Lego. So I used it, and it actually helps a lot in trying to visualize what you're trying to build. So I would suggest as a builder to go look at models of represented places or games. Like, so a big game would be like Assassin's Creed 3 has a lot of places like Boston from the 1700s. That's really good reference material. So yeah, I use Legoland as a reference. And Sil has mentioned this before, that he used Lego sets to help him with his playthrough of Robo. Was it oh shoot, what was that campaign map? It's like one of the it's Robo something. I can't remember I can't remember the campaign map. I haven't played the campaign in eons. It was called something. But I'm gonna sit here for a second thinking. No, it's not Roboopolis. That's a dumb name. No, it's something else. Regardless, it's one of the It's one of the last few campaign maps in the campaign series. It's right before. No, it's like at. I think it's before Disaster's Peaks. Yeah, Disaster Peaks, and then it's after the Sheer Cliffs one before the actual what is it? Zalgonia, which is the Halloween map. That's funny. Ha. So I forgot what the name was. I have to Google this now because I forgot. So type. Oh my gosh, can I not spell? Now I need to know what the name of that map is. Because I know one of you are going to say it in the comment section, but it's fine. I'll just find it real quick. Campaign, and then scenarios. We'll just scroll down. RoboPark. Oh, I was really close. So yeah, RoboPark. Use Legos as a reference. I think that's always a good thing. So I'm kind of doing that here too. Using Legos as a reference tool to kind of pull from. But yeah, as I continue to build some type of structures here, kind of just copying the ones from Legoland or Miniland, and just kind of going with the square set chimneys and buildings. A lot of buildings in New Orleans are square based, so that actually helps. But I also have this near reaction to make organic shapes in places, so I make things off either one brick up or one brick down or one unit up, and just changing up, making it less square so that it doesn't look so weird. So I think that's what the problem is with games that are grid based, that it looks weird. Because if everything was straight, it doesn't look natural or organic. So, especially in an amusement park, I guess I'm going to try to make it as organic as possible, and covering up corners with bushes and fences and rocks and all that good stuff. So, yeah. So, just building, picking my tree palette, stuff like that, and then figuring out some of the logistics and stuff. Trying to think realistically again how a park would be. So that brown building is going to be the changing rooms. I feel like that's an okay spot for it. I might have to make another changing room somewhere else, maybe on the other side of the park, just in case. Because why not have two? You don't have to necessarily have one. You have to have multiple restrooms, I know that. So that will happen too. So yeah, trying to figure out how to cover up this weird brick thing. I tried to use shapes, but I felt like the shapes were so big and ominous that I didn't do it. So I just went for a normal, just do it with fence and then cover with trees. Trees and plants always solves the problem, right? that's basically it. It solves the problem. I don't know. So yeah, just figuring out the logistics and things of that nature. I also want to mention, I should have mentioned it way earlier, but there is a connecting path underground from the entrance of the water park to American Adventure, just to help with guest flow. Because again, this is technically speaking, the water park is American Adventure. The title of the park doesn't change because I can't have two separate gates. So they're basically the same park. So I had to find a way to, hopefully guest flow will work this way. If it doesn't, I will have to maybe either add some spawn points out here, or spawn points near the Harbors of America entrance. I might have to do that. We will see. But at this point, this map is running real slow like now. I have to play it on pause now, just to get some details in and some buildings done. So I want to try to finish this map as soon as possible so I can release it and have everybody enjoy it. Because it's a work in progress that's been going on for 2+ years. AC vents, gonna do my thing. Gonna do that again because I love doing AC units. And then these are the restrooms. Gonna make one pink, one blue for women's and men's bathrooms because it's a very normal thing to do. And I think I'm gonna put a sign that says changing rooms because that's what needs to happen. So again, I don't remember if I even the building of the splash pad hasn't been built yet. You'll see that in a second. But I'm also trying to figure out my tree palette. Yeah, there. So there's the boat ride. I wanted to build a bridge, but apparently the bridge isn't high enough because the hitbox for that ride is very, very big. So I could lower the water level though, and then lower the boat ride. Huh, I might have to think about that. But I like the water level though, so I have to figure something out. I might have to just do, I don't know, paths underneath the water and underneath the ride. I kind of like the idea of having bridges. I'm trying to find something that doesn't look so ugly, especially with bridges and stuff, so I'll try it out. But this is close. We're coming to the end of the time lapse, so I'm going to leave you here and meet you over to the tour. We'll see you over there. Okay, here we are in the entrance area of Harbors of America, right outside the entrance of American Adventure. So they're pretty close in proximity to each other. This is probably going to become a drop-off area, so I'm going to add some type of roundabout thing here, maybe a fountain or some trees or something, like kind of like this one. Actually, I don't have a. Oh, this should just be the roundabout just for the entire park then, including Harbors of America. So I'm just going to show you the key things that I worked on. So here's the front entrance. And then here's the tickets. So you get your tickets here, you go into the park. And the first couple buildings are, this is I think a gift shop. And then info's here with I think first aid. And then here's more of this building over here. So it doesn't look like I built a lot, but there's a lot of detailing that I did to the whole thing. So I'm going to zoom out. And I'm going to show you the plan for the rest of the park so you can see. Oh, I forgot. I did want. Oh, Port of LA. Maybe I'll do that. That might change. So again, that's why this is always a good practice to put down things you want. So like, for example, the kiddie pool is going to go over here. So this is going to expand into a little pool here with that dragon that I talked about earlier, themed to New Orleans. New Orleans is going to be more in the center here too, so maybe like more of the bayou, maybe some wrecked ships or something, and then something that covers up the station. This bridge I'm not in love with because I feel like it goes up so high, and it goes down so fast too. So either keep this going straight, make this a plateau, and then have this thing go down here to fit in with the station building, which has to be either a harbor building of some sort or something, and then this brown mound here, or brown circle, is suggesting some type of mountain or hill so I can build slides off of, and then the boat ride can go through it, which I think is cool. There will be more path around the place. Here's the wave pool for San Francisco, kind of want to copy Fisherman's Wharf type of area, and then the rest of the back here would be like backstage areas for the water park. That's kind of the idea. Same thing with it right here. Will be more backstages and stuff like that. There's gonna be a warehouse that I can sit here maybe for American Adventure. Like more warehouses and stuff can go back here too to help with the delivery of some of this stuff. Yeah, it's going. I just have some concerns that my only concern is that it won't look pretty. But I might be just only I might be doubting myself or something, but I hope this works. I hope you guys learned something as well in this video. But I'm going to thank my Patreons for supporting me. If you want to support me on Patreon, you can. I usually post a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff or even more detailed things about my parks or projects. Like I posted a whole bunch of things on the diorama dark ride stuff, which should become a video too eventually when I get to it. But it's been busy this month because of the holidays and things like that. Like in America, we have Thanksgiving this Thursday, so that's a holiday for us to go and do. So I'm quite busy. I'm trying to find time to work on some more projects, but I want to really get American Adventure done. I won't get it done by the end of this year. I know it. I'm probably going to get it done hopefully by January or February of next year. So we have an opening day of the park in year 2022. So that's the goal. Once that's out, then I can maybe relax and maybe do campaign play, which I put a vote up on the channel, so we'll do that. But again, I want to thank my patrons, which I already did, so that's good. So yeah, hope you guys learned something new on how I'm working on this park, and I'm excited to continue working on it, so I'll see you guys in the next video. So bye.